I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's the start of one of the greatest weeks in all of weeks. Welcome in. It's a Monday edition of the Daily Puck Drop, your daily sports podcast that tries to entertain you, educate you. We fail miserably at both, but yet you are still here every single day. We appreciate if you're watching and listening live on YouTube, X, also the Puck Sports mobile app. Download it today. From the iPhone, Apple Store, also from Google Play if you are Android users. Now, everything gets podcast up later, so please check it out up on YouTube, also Apple and Spotify, two major podcast platforms, and you can find everything up at pucksports.com, including where you can sign up to become a Puck's Posse member. It's just $5 a month. It's a cup of coffee. That's all it is. Don't go out for coffee one day during the month. We got a lot of great content up there for Puck's Posse members. Also, you can follow me on all the social media platforms, Puck Sports, everywhere except for TikTok, which is Puck_sports. I come via the Limbach Lumber Studios. Could not do this every single day without the full support of Limbach Lumber. They've been doing business in Ballard since 1930. Give them a call, 206-782-3487. Visit them at limbachlumber.com. They're going to take care of you, contractors. They offer free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects. So they do it with honesty. They do it with a firm handshake, and they still keep paper receipts there at Limbach Lumber. Joining me on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays is not only a great husband, a great father, a great golfer, a so-so gambler. But he's a great coog, and he's a great person. And once again, it's extremely dark in the room in which he's doing the show from. It is James Moore. You know him as Jim Moore. You probably better know him as the go-to guy. Here he is. Brought to you by.
I almost had a hole-in-one yesterday at Crooked River. I put it within 6 inches, 140
yards. Did we get a picture of it?
I do. Yeah, I had a picture of it. Yeah, nice little tap-in.
Well, share.
Usually there's the post birdie F up, right? As soon as you get a birdie, the next hole you probably aren't going to do as well. I birdied the next hole too. So you're right about me being a great golfer. Shot a 39 on the backside at Crooked River. Although on the front side, I took a 9 on a par 3.
Happens to the best of us, especially on.
When was the last time you had a 9 on a par 3 though?
Oh, I don't know. It's been a long time, but I'm sure it's been up there.
Okay. My excuse is it's a signature hole at Crooked River. It's an uphill par 3, but it's a 2-tiered green, and it's really ridiculous. It's unfair what they're doing there. It's Mickey Mouse, in fact. But
I think you should share the videos of your two sons playing golf. I've seen it. What great swings both have. I do think Stevie, even though he is playing with a yellow ball like Freddie Couples does, which is at his age, he shouldn't be doing it yet. But, man, does he have a good-looking swing.
Yeah, they both are the typical 21-year-olds that have that flexibility that we all wish that we could have. And he took a video of my swing yesterday and showed it to me. And you know how you think your swing looks?
Yeah.
I mean, you have in your mind, you
think it's pretty good. It folds there. I get across and all that. And then you look at it and it looks awful.
Oh, man. I looked at mine and I thought, God, what a hacker. What an absolute hacker. I don't know. I try and, rotate and get back and get the shoulder behind the ball and all that. But anyway, it's okay.
All fails.
Yeah, fun playing golf with my kids the last couple of days down here. But you asked me who I'm sponsored by, and I'll tell you, okay? It's Brian Turner at A Clean Streak in Oak Harbor, and he also has Bright Owl Lighting. You've heard about Bright Owl Lighting now. It's time for you to do what Puck has done. Have someone else put the Christmas lights up for you. So let Bright Owl Lighting do it for you. It's no gutters, no hanging over the gutters, the hassles with untangling the cords, no ladders, and no dying. That's the most important thing that Bright Owl Lighting will provide for you. You get life from Bright Owl Lighting. For a free estimate, call 360-675-2034 or visit brightowllighting.com. And who doesn't need a new car or a pre-owned car? Let's call them what they are.
I do, Brad.
They're used cars, okay, but we have to call them pre-owned. Brotherton Cadillac, Northwestern Shoreline, and Brotherton Cadillac and Brotherton Buick GMC in Renton. I love Brad Brotherton. I know you will too. He's going to shake your hand. He's going to tell you, hey, I'll give you I got to wait 5 minutes. So go over and get a vanilla latte out of the coffee machine there in Renton. It's fabulous. 4th generation family-owned hospitality with Brotherton Auto in Shoreline or Renton, or visit brothertonauto.com. And Matt Baker, we love Matt Baker. He's another fellow Coug. He owns the Angry Beaver in Greenwood. Go catch a Kraken game. It's the hockey headquarters. You can watch the Cougs against Chaminade in Maui, where you and I should be, Jason Puckett, right now. We should be in Maui watching the Cougar basketball team tonight. You can get it all. Beers on tap. He'll have Fireball for you, Jägermeister, whatever you want. Ask Matt for it. He'll give you a go Cougs, and he'll help you out. The Angry Beaver in Greenwood.
Okay, perfect. There you got it covered.
Okay, and you want to start ripping people, though? Because you were getting after people on Twitter.
I wasn't getting after anybody.
Anthony Bradford, I see that you want to get after ESPN on your little headline sheet over there.
Here's the thing with Anthony Bradford. Great win yesterday by the Seahawks. Certainly wasn't the game that I think everyone thought the get-right game. It didn't really feel like the get-right game.
Hey, I called that game, though. I called that one.
You nailed it. They didn't cover. Those were the two best teams. Well, the best team in covering the spread was the Seahawks, which at moments they had a chance to finally put it away, but they did not. And the worst team in covering were the Titans. But for some reason, we just
Were you happy that Cam Ward played well?
You know what? It's on my list of things. Yeah. And you know what? I was unfair. I was thinking about that yesterday. Very unfair with Cam Ward.
Hey, you even took a shot at him.
When? No, that wasn't a shot.
I wish you'd run like that in the Apple Cup.
Then we would have won the Apple Cup.
Cam,
if he would have
Cam, you not see the yellow line?
Oh,
Cam,
my God.
The yellow line is just right ahead, and there's nothing but free turf for you to get there. He did it.
How many times did he scramble yesterday in the game up the middle? Like 3 or 4 times for big gains. If he does that on the final drive of the Apple Cup in 23 at Husky Stadium, we win the game, they're out of the playoffs, and that's the last Apple Cup in the Pac-12, and we win it. And that's all he had to do was one time on that drive, and the third down play. It was 3rd and 13 or whatever it was.
Or if they'd called 2 of the holding penalties on Odunze's
2, the entire team was holding. They were tackling players. Go look at the video when the guy tackles Ron Stone. And I don't think that's legal. By the way, did you watch the Alabama game against Oklahoma? They ran the same play on 4th down.
Did they?
The exact same play. They were 4th and 2, driving against Oklahoma, ran the same thing.
Yeah, well.
And it worked. It worked.
Yeah. Grubby went to what works.
Grubby. I want to tell you right now, I may make a move with Lincoln. And the first person I'm going to call is my Grubby.
What do you do, though? Do you fire Lincoln Riley? I saw Bill Plaschke wrote a column today in the LA Times saying that he's on the hot seat and he should probably go. It's time for him to go. But don't they owe him like 50 or 60 million if they fire him now?
I don't know. I don't know what you do with Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the story out of there is that he wants to leave. But
yeah.
But so no, back to Cam Ward. I thought he played great. I mean, he has no talent around him. Zero talent. And I thought he looked really good. There was 2 or 3 passes that the Titans just flat out dropped that he hit on key 3rd downs. He's moving the ball a little bit. Or he's moving around a little better. That he showed composure. Yeah, he looked good. And for the Seahawks,
Puck. I like hearing that from you because you were not the biggest Cam Ward fan when he was in Pullman.
And you know what? And I was not. And I think it was because he came in with so much hype. And he really was like kind of the first poster child for NIL was Cam.
And what'd he get? Remember at the time we were thinking, man, they gave him $60,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah. But I always said this about him. It was always the player. He was aggravating at times as a player. But, I think you looked at that roster. It wasn't the best roster around him. Well, they were good players, but not what he had at Miami, when he, put together just that Heisman, type of season for him. But, he was still learning to play the position. He was a couple of years removed from high school in which he was playing in a wing tee, because Incarnate Word puts up those crazy numbers. But there were a lot of flashes of him at times at Pullman. We're like, oh my God, like he's special. And then there was a lot of times we were like, why are you throwing that? Like he had a play yesterday, which was vintage Cam and Wazoo. You remember when he's rolling right towards the sideline, he threw back across the middle. Now he completed it yesterday, but in Pullman, that's a pick six. He did that all the time.
That was the thing that I remember about him is that, usually when it's off script, the quarterback's forced out of the pocket. You kind of tend to think, well, everybody's improvising and the quarterback will make a good play out of it, or else he'll throw it out of bounds. But with Cam, he would oftentimes get sacked, even when he was scrambling around, and you're like, oh, no, throw it out of bounds. And but boy, going to Miami and then becoming the number one choice and being compromised with what he has there in Tennessee. So it was nice to see him play well.
Yeah, he played great yesterday for the Seahawks. I mean, they played good enough to obviously win the game, but they didn't close it out. It wasn't the get-right game I think a lot of people envisioned for them. It certainly wasn't the get-right game for Sam Darnold. Well, but he should have had 3 interceptions in that game.
Okay, what could they have done? What could they have done, though? Because let's say they won 49-0. And then everybody would have been, well, okay, that was great, but it was against Tennessee, a 1-9 team. I don't know. That was a no-win situation for him yesterday as far as erasing what happened in the Rams game.
Oh, I don't think they ever were. Well, that's a good point. I don't think they ever were going to erase what happened in the Rams game. But I think, when they allow them to go right down the field on that first drive, like, okay, well, pretty good drive there by Tennessee. They hold them out of the end zone. It's just a field goal. But I think when they got up, by 13, at that point, a team that has visions of winning a Super Bowl needs to cut them out. They can't let them come back in the game and have the chances of an onside kick somehow hitting a defender. And now all of a sudden you've gone from we should win this game comfortably to they go walk down the field and score and win the game. So again, that's been kind of a problem for them all year long is they've been up on teams, Arizona being a game. I'm blank. Maybe Houston. There's another game I'm blanking on besides last night that they need to close out and not give them hope. And I know that's hard in the NFL. The NFL is much different than college football, but they should have won that by 20 yesterday.
Yeah, I just tend to think, like from the gambling perspective anyway, looking at the game, you just played a game against the Los Angeles Rams, and then all of a sudden you're on the road, and the coach can tell you you're capable of losing to any team in the NFL, and the coach is right about that. But in the back of your mind, you're still thinking, you look at the standings and you go, shit, man, these guys are 1-9. We're going to handle them just by showing up. And that wasn't the same defense that we saw against the Rams, that's for sure. And I don't think if they'd been playing the Rams again yesterday, we would have seen that kind of defense. We'd have seen the defense that they played against them the first time, not what we saw against the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think there's a natural kind of letdown. They knew probably going into that game, hey, we're just a better football team. We'll be able to cruise. Nothing really scares us. It's human nature. So it happens. I would say, though, from, and we even just said it last week, there's nothing that Sam Darnold was going to do in this game to erase what happened last week. But I didn't think he played well yesterday. Did you?
Well, he got lucky.
He got lucky a lot.
He did get lucky. And so, he could have thrown, 3 interceptions?
At least 3.
Or at least 2 anyway.
Well, the first one to Ken Walker, that should have been a pick 6.
Yeah.
The Barner one, it's hanging in the air for an hour. And then the third one, he has a ball deep. I can't remember who he's going to. That goes right through the defender's hands again. It's 3 picks that there was nothing he was going to do yesterday to make up for last week, but he could only kind of hurt himself. And he just, I don't know. He just didn't look good yesterday.
Well, then
he had a nice TD pass to JSN, but.
Well, yeah, fortunately, those guys, of course, it's fortunate that they didn't catch the balls for interceptions, but especially for Sam Darnold, because you look at him and you go, God, it's just that he sucks in big game situations, but now he's like doing it against the Titans. So then you're really starting to wonder about him going down the stretch here, the last, month and a half of the season.
Yeah, it was just a shaky. It was just really, really shaky yesterday, I thought. But it shouldn't take away from this Jaxon Smith-Njigba. This is what he's doing and what he has already done and what he's about to do. I mean, like today should just be an appreciation for him. And we're going to get to Grey Zabel because this guy, I already want to put him in the Ring of Honor. I want to put him in the Ring of Honor now. I think he should be. I think both these guys, but at first I'm going to start with Zabel. Both should go to be the first ever in the Ring of Honor before they're done playing for the Seahawks.
Really?
Yeah, but both of them.
Well, JSN's been around for a little while, and Zabel's just been around for 10
Last
games.
Week, the talk on Grey Zabel was he might be done for the year. This is a catastrophic knee injury. If he's not done for the year, he's going to miss several weeks. Nope. This guy rubs some dirt on it, tapes it up, shoots it up with Toradol. I don't know if they do that anymore. Whatever. Drinks about 5 Busch Lights in like 2 seconds and says, I'm good to go. I'll play.
Does he have a chance? Does he have a chance to be your favorite Seahawk of all time?
Oh, he does. Yeah, he's getting up there. He's getting up there.
And did you ever think that you would be saying something like that about a guard?
Probably not. I was a big Hutchinson fan. I love that he wears 76. But he is. I mean, just all of it, the look, the fact that he's a farm guy, that he drinks Busch Light, that he rocks a mustache.
He could have been a Coug, couldn't he? He could have been a
he would have been a perfect Coug.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I mean,
well, I thought maybe if it was a 50-50 situation where you're trying to decide whether a guy should play or not, and the coaching staff would never say this, but I'd be thinking behind closed doors, we'd be looking at each other going, shit, man, we're playing the Titans.
Exactly.
We can probably get away with not having him in there this week. And yet it sounded like he wanted to play in the worst way because he wanted to face the all-pro Simmons and see how he fared against him. So, yeah, it was nice to see him out there.
Jim, I'm doing it right now. I would unveil it before the Vikings game. Ladies and gentlemen, like a video tribute right now, we are going to honor number 76. Grey Zabel. He's the first ever active player to be inducted into the Ring of Honor. In fact, Hutchinson's not in there, right? I was going to look this up. He's not.
No, he will be, though.
Will he? I mean, it kind of ended bad. It ended weird. He works for the team now, but I would put him up there. I think I'd put Zabel in before Hutchinson.
Would you? I think you need a little more body of work.
I don't need any more body of work. In fact, I'm going to start writing the man's Canton Hall of Fame speech right now.
But you could argue that this was to be expected where he was drafted. That's what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, but also he's coming from a lower level of football, so I think there's some doubt. He's never faced someone like Simmons or these guys that he plays in the NFL. He doesn't see that against South Dakota State.
No.
And North Dakota. I mean, he's not seen that caliber of athlete. He has been. I mean, here's the thing that's so awesome about Grey Zabel. We've been begging for an offensive lineman since like Steve Hutchinson. And then they hire the Hutchinson clone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just perfect. Perfect. And then, so I think.
And he came out of the game okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he came out of the game and he seems like, nobody's talking about, geez, how'd Zabel do as far as, did he rough up his injury a little more? And so everybody knows he'll be out there against the Vikings next week.
I mean, I would double dip next week. I probably would throw JSN too. I would probably have both of them just raise the flag and then run down on the field. And then we can induct both of them right now into the Ring of Honor. I mean, he broke Metcalf's record. There's 6 games left.
All right. So if you had 100 Seahawk fans, how many people would say, gee, this was expected of JSN to do this? Because I was in that group. And if I was in that 100 fans, I would be in that group that'd be saying, when they got rid of Metcalf, I thought it might hurt JSN and that he'd still be good, but he wouldn't be great. He wouldn't be elite. He wouldn't be threatening Megatron's record. If somebody told you that before the season, like, hey, you know what's going to happen? You're going to be talking just before Thanksgiving about JSN already breaking Metcalf's yardage total, season yardage total for the Seahawks. But not only that, he's going to be on a pace to beat Megatron's record of what is it, 2,000 or 1,964 yards. You'd be going, yeah, come on, man. Have another cocktail. That's not going to happen. JSN will have another good season. He's coming off 1,000-yard season, but it's not going to be 2,000 yards in next year, especially without DK here.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I think me and you, and there's others out there. I didn't think he'd be a number one wide receiver. I thought he would struggle this year. I thought the biggest weakness of their group was their wide receiver room.
Yeah.
And I thought we forgot about, or at least and Lockett and all that.
What I forgot about was that game in the Rose Bowl where didn't he have like 250 receiving yards in that game? It was something insane.
Yeah, 250, 260. He was the best.
So you look back at that and you're thinking, God, in the Rose Bowl for Ohio State, if that kid's capable of that, what could he be capable of in the NFL?
You go read his high school, the stories about him in high school. He was like I think he's the Texas High School Player of the Year. Think about that. In that state. All classifications, Player of the Year. So he's been beyond phenomenal. 1,300 yards now, 1,313, breaks Metcalf's record. I know they're playing an extra game, but it doesn't matter. He's already broken it.
Well, it'd be cool if he could break it in 16 games. So then they couldn't even think about putting an asterisk on it.
He'd have to really be at kind of a pace for Calvin Johnson, because right now he's averaging 119 yards a game. So he's on pace to get 716 more yards, which would put him over 2,000. 2,029. If he played in a 16-game schedule, so if we only did that in 5, he'd fall just short of Calvin Johnson's record. But
okay, so our defensive coordinators for opposing teams, are they still skeptical about him, or maybe is he so good that they're double teaming him and making other players beat you, and he's still so good that he finds ways to get open and make acrobatic catches and score touchdowns? I mean, it's like,
why don't you take 3 people and just put 3 people on them and say, why don't you beat us with Rashid Shaheed or Cooper Kupp? I don't know. It doesn't seem like defensive coordinators are doubling them. But again, you and I are not defensive coordinators. I don't know what schemes they're having. It doesn't seem like on the touchdown reception, it's a great idea to have him come in motion matched up with some safety. That doesn't seem fair to the safety.
Well, and those 50-50 balls that everybody talks about, they're not 50-50 balls going to him. They're more like 80-20 balls. Because he comes down, that catch that he made, that first touchdown, I thought it might get picked off. I mean, that ball that Darnold threw, it was a moonshot. And then when it came down, I thought, God, that's going to give the safety enough time to, get over. If JSN has, if he's open for a little while, that ball's in the air so long that he's not going to be able to catch it. And then he caught it and then took it into the end zone. It's one incredible week after another with him.
He is, I don't know. I don't know why they don't pay more attention to him. Maybe they are. We don't notice it. Maybe he's just so good. They're scheming him to get open. But I mean, it's incredible. And what's interesting about it is you hear all these other names being thrown into the NFL MVP. And I'm not really hearing his name being thrown out much, or as often as it should be. If he and I don't care.
Well, and we haven't been doing that either.
That's true. That's fair. He should be given serious talk about the league's MVP.
When you're on a pace to break the all-time record, you're right.
Who is the last? No, I just looked this up. Thank you, Google. No wide receiver has ever won the NFL MVP.
Even Megatron, the year that he did that?
No. That is crazy.
Well, the other thing, little fun fact.
How's that possible? How is it possible that in a league that has seen Jerry Rice, that he has never won the MVP?
Because it's the cliche that everybody talks about, because it's true. It's the quarterback-driven league, the NFL. Everyone knows that. And so until someone breaks that trend, it's going to continue that way. But no, I
Wouldn't
mean,
that be pretty
JSN
crazy?
deserves that. He's 250 yards of the guy that's second behind him in yardage, George Pickens.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a horse race, he's like Secretariat right now. I mean, he's like 8 lengths ahead of Pickens.
So he's not only he's gonna break. Well, he's broken the team single season record. He is, again, we mentioned what he's on pace for. If he continues this pace, he's gonna beat Megatron's record. He's gonna go over 2,000 yards, first one to ever do it. He currently holds the single season receptions record with Tyler Lockett at 100. Well, he's on pace for 123. So he's going to shatter that. He's got a chance at the touchdown record, which I believe is 14 by Baldwin, and he's got 7. So he's got a chance to surpass that. Don't you think,
hey, Puck, don't you think if you saw him on the street without a uniform on and you looked at him and not to say, I mean, he's in great physical shape and all of those things, but he's not the biggest guy in the world. I don't think you'd look at him and go, hey, man, you're the guy that leads the NFL in receiving, and you might even be the all-time leader after the season is over. I don't see that in him, but God, good for him, man, for everything that he's been doing. And it's been consistent too. Yeah. It's not like he's had one week where he's caught, like 200 yards. He just had a, out of mind, out of body experience out there. It's been every single week, no matter who the opponent is, no matter how good their defense is.
And it really just been consistent since he's come into the league. He burst on the scene as a rookie and 628 yards. That's respectable. Last season, 1,100 yards receiving, 100 catches. Now he's backed it up with just another phenomenal third season. So as good as on one side, there's Grey Zabel and JSN. And then on the other side, there's Anthony Bradford, who again,
don't be bad mouthing Abe. I thought you were maybe going to throw Abe in there.
No, okay, the fact that Abe Lucas should be put in the Ring of Honor too, because he's got to play next to Anthony Bradford. Anthony Bradford spent, I said this on Twitter last night. No one I've ever watched play football in the history of watching football spends more time looking around for guys to block than to actually block them. Watch it. I saw something on.
So who is it? Brian Baldinger or somebody just every week trashes the guy.
I watched somebody on Twitter. It wasn't him, but somebody else did like a cut up of his game. God, I'm going to find that. It was some Seahawks
They do it on a weekly basis. There's some guy.
Oh, but there's one last week.
He's the worst offensive lineman in the league, according to this guy.
There is one last week that it is comical. It's comical. He doesn't even make an effort. He doesn't, nothing. Like there was a play yesterday. Everyone's like, oh, you can't guard Jeffrey Simmons. He bowled over Oluwatimi. Go watch Anthony Bradford on that play. He doesn't even try to help him. And he doesn't block anyone on the play. No one.
Okay, what do you think though? If you peel back a little bit and if you think the number one thing you think, what in the world is he doing out there?
Yeah.
But then if you're on the coaching staff, the offensive line coach, all these guys, there's a reason that he's out there. Is it because Haynes sucks so bad that they
I think
can't
Haynes
put him in, or is Bradford actually better than what we're seeing on these tapes where he's whiffing people or not even trying to block?
It's got to be the first thing. It's that they put in Haynes and they're like, you think that's bad? Wait till we put this guy in. That's what it is. It has to be. There's no way.
But then, Puck, when you look at what's going on statistically with the Seahawks offense, he's part of the line that's protecting Sam Darnold, and Darnold's been having a good year.
Yeah,
I don't know from the Rams game, and they ran the ball well yesterday. So, I mean, would they be doing that much better if they had an all-pro right guard?
I don't know. I'm just telling you, next game, this Sunday against the Vikings, I want you to just watch them. Every play, and pour yourself a Jack Daniels on the rocks and watch him and smile and laugh like a cry laugh. A cry laugh. It's it hurts so bad that you have to cry. And I want you to do it. Okay. I want you to.
I would like to see him. I know that you need to be 300 plus to be an offensive lineman in the NFL.
You'd like to see him shed a few pounds.
I would like to see him if it would maybe help if he lost 10 to 20 pounds without sacrificing the size that he has. Maybe allow him to be a little quicker and more agile. But
this is not the week for him to try and shed some pounds, because this is the greatest week of all time. This is gluttony. This is gambling. This is boozing. what this week is. Because this is, I contend this is, I think better than March Madness. This is the greatest week in sports right here.
Better than March Madness. Better than the first round of March Madness.
Yes, it may be blasphemy to say, but I believe that's true. I think this is
even better than week. Is it even better than usual this week since the Cougar basketball team is playing in Maui?
Well, that's right. We attempt to cut down the nets in Maui starting tonight against Powerhouse Chaminade in the Maui Classic. How did we get in the Maui Classic? Well, good question. And the answer is because everybody else that's good in basketball is playing in another tournament.
Based on what I've seen, people would be advised to take Chaminade in the points tonight, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, sorry, I got distracted with something. Yeah. What is the spread on that?
I don't even know. I'm sure we're probably favored by a few anyway.
Okay.
I'll know by tip off because I'll have something on the Cougs.
When they've got games going right now, you know that? I mean, this is why it's the greatest week. We've got college basketball tournaments all over the place, and
that one in Vegas is supposed to be.
Well, that's the one I'm talking about. This is the one the Big 12's involved with. This is like, they have like NIL guarantees now, sponsorship of $50 million. This thing is going to turn it to be the biggest thing in college sports this preseason or this early tournament that they are doing. It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, just flat out incredible. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome to kind of watch that thing take place. So you got that, plus you've got football, right? We've got Turkey Day. We got football all over the place. I mean, Jim, it's the greatest week. I mean, you got great games on Thursday, great college games on Friday. All of it. Wonderful.
Do you think, I know that you I don't know, you mock me a little bit about, me being proud of my kids, partaking of the gambling a little bit on sports. Do you think it's going too far for me to sell them some money yesterday? It wasn't much, but it was enough just to kind of keep them afloat in their betting account so that they can, get some action on these games.
No, it's great.
That's okay. Because parents, typically will give their kids money for things like food, tuition, gas. But I take it one step farther. And if my kids are, losing at gambling, that, maybe they could use a little extra.
I think it's great.
Build it back up. Okay.
Did you watch your ESPN morning shows today? How bad was it? How great was their wet dream that the Cowboys won yesterday and then Shedeur Sanders won? I bet they were just, could not contain themselves. Was anyone on the panel at ESPN wearing their pants? Or were all the pants off?
Okay. I'll be honest. I did not watch those shows because we have complete chaos going on at our house. And I couldn't get out of here fast enough. I ended up going to a coffee place here in town and did my show prep there. And you're right. I paid $8 for a cup of coffee today. Puck's Posse members only paying $5. Come on.
$5. Yeah,
come on. It's a no-brainer to join Puck's Posse. But no, I think you're right. We don't even have to watch those shows. Get Up or First Take.
Did you
Although probably a little less. First Take probably a little more on Shedeur Sanders than the Cowboys because Stephen A. Smith is always ripping on the Cowboys, so he probably wasn't happy about that.
Did you see Shedeur? Did you see him on the field being interviewed by the woman after the game?
No. Was he good?
Just go watch it.
Was he like cocky as can be, or
as if he won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And
well, okay,
everybody doubted me, and look what the line was, look what I did in a week. Imagine if I could have an off season where they gave me reps. Do you know what a QBR rating is?
It's an ESPN thing, right?
Yeah. Right. It's from a scale to 100 to 0. Okay. Do you know what his QBR yesterday was?
What, in the 20s or
Care to fucking guess what it was?
No.
8.7. So according to QBR, he had not an average because average is 50. He had below average QBR rating. The write-up when it's so bad like that is he had 0 impact on the game. They would have won the game regardless of him.
Well, I assume they won because of their defense when I saw the score of the
They played
game.
the Raiders. The Raiders are terrible.
Well, and then how bad is it if Pete Carroll fires Chip Kelly after the game? Would you ever think when Oregon was that high-flying offense down there in Eugene with Chip Kelly as the head coach that, you know what, in 2025, he's going to be the Raiders offensive coordinator and he's going to get fired mid-season by Pete Carroll, who never fires assistant coaches during the mid-season. That's how bad it is there at Vegas.
Hey, I got to go. I got Michael-Shawn Dugar, the Dugar Report, waiting. He's got to go. He's at the airport. But let me give you one quick thing. We're going to pick this back up on Wednesday. I believe we'll have a special guest because since it's a short show, I believe Mitch Levy is going to be with us on Wednesday. Okay, so he desperately wants to do a show with you. We at that point we can discuss more. God, I love that Nick Rolovich is the head coach now at Cal, especially in that environment.
They finally got rid of Wilcox. We've been talking about that for about 5 years.
And F anybody that thinks Justin Wilcox is a good coach. Okay, he was 26-47 in conference play. He had 2 winning seasons in 9 years. Please stop telling me, oh, the job he did at Cal. It's so hard. He was a nothing burger. A nothing burger. All right. That's it. That's all.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So
I'll see you.
I get to be with Mitch on Wednesday?
Yeah, I think so. He wants to do the show with you. He's tired of me. He wants to hear you.
All right. Sounds good.
We didn't even get to our Cougs. We'll get to our Cougs tomorrow on Old Crimson. Boy, the pitchforks are out again for Danny Freund. You wrote a column supporting Danny, but everybody wants him fired now. Jimmy Rogers does the right thing. They'll fire him on the tarmac. Jeez.
I love Danny. Give him a chance.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you. Go to.
All right. Go.
Yeah. Say go Cougs. There he is. Go Cougs. Jim Moore.
Go Cougs.
There you go. You nailed it. All right. Jim Moore with us again every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Again, brought to you by all of our great sponsors. For him, Brad Brotherton Cadillac. Also a Clean Streak, Bright Owl Lighting, Brian Turner, and Matt Baker and the fine folks there at the Angry Beaver. Joining us now, brought to you by Georgetown Brewery. It's the Dugar Report. Michael-Shawn Dugar from The Athletic.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer. Your new, locally brewed, domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
And Mike is with us here from The Athletic. He's from Sea-Tac Airport. We've got a few minutes with Mike. He's traveling back from Nashville. The CEO of the Dugar family is picking him up. You don't make her late or things will go badly for Mike when he gets home. Michael-Shawn Dugar from The Athletic, again, brought to you by Georgetown Brewery. All right, all week long we talked about this being the get-right game. Do you feel it was the get-right game for them?
I guess it was for Jaxon Smith-Njigba. That guy is good, Puck. Man, he really is. But yeah, I thought it was good for Darnold to have some easy throws in there, just have a relatively efficient game. But honestly, I watched a little bit of the film on my flight, which I just got off of. He also benefited from his get right was playing the Titans, who have DBs that can't catch. There was at least two passes that. Yeah, there were 2 that hit guys in the hands or / chest with the one that popped up, and then the one in the end zone where he's rolling left and throwing back right. No one gets a finger on that, but it is in harm's way. That's how I would categorize that. I don't think any Titan had any more likelihood of catching it than a Seahawk. So I don't know if I classify it as a turnover worthy play as like a PFF would, but it was definitely in harm's way. Because that game easily could have been a Sam Darnold has 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also like 2 picks, and they're in a dogfight, with the Titans needing a game-winning field goal or something like that. So I think he played fine, I guess, but the film kind of bears out that he also kind of got fortunate there yesterday in Tennessee.
All right, you did a good job. I love your write-up up at The Athletic. Go read it if you haven't done it yet. If you don't have a subscription to The Athletic, go get one today. Let's start with JSN. What I liked about the premise of the story is you talked to all these other guys about him. And so what are they? I mean, you and I and others will run out of words, but what about his teammates? What did they have to say about not only his performance yesterday, but his performance all season long?
Yeah, there's a few interesting perspectives that I like when I ask guys about JSN. One of them is guys who were with him as rookies. And you'll notice in the story that I quoted there. I think I got at least a couple guys who have been here with him since the beginning. Olu Oluwatimi. You would think, oh, why would you talk to him about Jax? Well, it's like these guys are very close with their draft classmates, even if they're not in the same position group or even on the same side of the ball. Like these guys just tend to be very close, which is why Spoon's also quoted in my story. You know, a guy who not only is in the draft class, they were drafted the same day, probably like an hour or so apart. You know, I flew here. They both had the draft, probably on the same plane here. You know, as rookies, so they're day one Seahawks together. So his perspective is interesting. Jake Bobo, a guy who wasn't drafted, but same thing, 2023 guy. And they all speak to not only a work ethic, but also like foresight on their part because of what he was showing them from day one. Like Spoon, he'll tell you, like, I've been lining up against this guy literally since I became a Seahawk. From rookie camp till now, I've been playing against this guy. And I have to work hard to guard him. Like Spoon won't go as far as say he can't, you know, because he's too confident. But he's like, you know, I have to, it's tough. He's like, it's tough for me to guard this guy. And if Spoon's been saying that for a while, for what it's worth, you know, and Jake Bobo too. Jake's like, Jake will tell me all the time, he's like, dude, I get mad watching Jax because the stuff he does is unfair. It's stuff they don't even teach us, you know, like they can maybe drill it to us, but we can't do that. You know, Jake gave me one really good example. I don't think I've printed it yet. So there you go. Puck exclusive here. It's just a little route running nuance. He's like, when they break, you're usually supposed to break on, like if you break inside, you're supposed to use your inside foot, right? If you're starting right, cutting left, plant with your left foot and go inside. He was like, Jax can do it from the opposite foot, which they don't teach you. Huge no-no. If you try to do it, you'll probably trip and fall and get yelled at by your coach. He was like, Jax can do stuff like that we can't do. We can't mimic. They don't teach, and it works. You know, it's like he's one of those guys, a true natural athlete, natural receiver. You know, super smooth. I mean, the receivers are just like, it's really frustrating for them. Where I'm talking to Cody White or Derek Young, and just like he's so good, like he goes first in all the reps. You know, in practice and stuff like that. It's like, we can't do that though. You know, so, you know, you've coached little kids, Puck. Sometimes you'd be like, all right, do what little Billy's doing because he's the best kid on the team, you know, or like, right. But you can't do that with Jax. You can't say, do what number 11's doing because you'll trip and fall. You won't catch the ball. You know, it's all these things that we're not teaching. You know, it's just really impressive to get those guys' perspective, particularly guys who have believed since day one because they came here with them.
Can you start talking to like you and Sando, do a deep dive into some defensive coordinators, anonymous coordinators around the league, and just ask them, can they double team them, triple team them? Like, what are these coordinators not? Because I don't know. I don't know what coverages they're in, but I do know that he's just getting open all the time. And I think it leads the question, right, Mike, is why don't defensive coordinators just triple team them? And just be like, you go beat Cooper. Make Cooper Kupp beat us or somebody else. But that guy is not going to beat us. He just seems to be open all the time. That there's no defense geared at stopping him. Like they're still daring the Seahawks to win a game with him. And we'll just put single coverage on him. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, teams seem to be very insistent on playing within their coverage structure. You know, not like, okay, let's do something new because we're going against someone who's a little bit more dangerous than we're used to facing. Teams seem to be like, okay, well, here's how we treat any number one receiver. Here's how we'll bracket him. Here's how we'll treat him on obvious passing downs. You know, that's why I framed my story the way I did because I chart everything in real time, you know, by hand, too, real old school. And I was like, oh, Jax is doubled. It was 3rd and 4. Oh, Jax was doubled again. I was like, oh, the Titans are doing a good job. And the very next 3rd down, he was single covered against the safety. And I was like, oh, what are you guys doing? He just deviated from the plan 2 drives into the game. You know, I think that teams, they want to mix it up. They want to give Seattle different looks. Like, okay, sometimes he's single covered. Sometimes he's bracketed. Sometimes rotating coverages. And I think the closer he gets to the record, Puck, and Chris and I were talking about this in the latest Seahawks man-to-man that's out now, I think teams are going to, like, we're joking, but teams are going to be like, you know what? Screw it. You're not getting this record on us. You're not. You know, like I imagine it's probably similar to a pitcher that doesn't want some guy to get an RBI record or a home run record. Like, I'm just going to walk you. You know, like you're not about to get whatever milestone you're trying to get on me. You know, and yes, the consequence may be, all right, the next dude can hit a bomb on us, but not you, you know, or let Rashid Shaheed have 150 on us, but it ain't going to be Jackson Smith. I think we're going to get close to that as the record nears because these guys got pride too. And there's a correlation. If Jax gets the ball, your team has a higher chance of losing. It's very simple math the Seahawks are showing. Get the ball to Jackson.
I've been surprised why teams just haven't made more of an effort to try and stop him, knowing it because he's their one guy. At least he's the one guy on offense, at least from a wide receiver standpoint, that scares you. It really puts a fear into you. And like, let's just see if Cooper Kupp can still do it. Now, but Horton's, out for a period of time, and now they've got Rashid Shaheed. So it is interesting how defenses continue to kind of still play him. Now, I made this. I was talking to Jim about this, not only for Jaxon Smith-Njigba, but I do believe that he and I started really with Grey Zabel on this one. I think he and Grey Zabel should be the first ever active players to be put in the Ring of Honor. And I want you to run this up the flagpole with somebody over there, okay? And see what they say. This guy a week ago, we're talking, he might be done for the year. I mean, that looked good. He's carried off the field. I mean, he's emotional kind of on the bench. Now we're talking about, okay, fingers crossed, it's not the end of the year. Season ending. He'll probably be out a few weeks. No, I think he missed one practice. He's out there on Wednesday, taped up, limited, rubs dirt on it on Sunday, Mike, and he's out there playing again. That alone, everything, the look, the crushing of Busch Lights, the North Dakota, he's a farm boy, the mustache, Ring of Honor right now. I want him up there. I mean, that guy I know guys are tough. Everybody in this league is tough. Everyone. And they all play hurt. Every one of them. That to me, I don't know what the severity of the injury was. Obviously not severe enough to where he had to miss any time, but I got to imagine he was in a lot of pain at the start of that game, during the game, and after the game.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk to him, and I missed Mike McDonald's press conference because usually I just prioritize, getting in the locker room because that's the only chance I'll get with these guys till Wednesday, whereas I'll talk to Mike again before then. So, but I read the transcript this morning and I watched the replay on YouTube, and he mentioned that Grey not only wanted to play, but he was like, I want to play because I want to play that front. Like, I want that smoke with those guys. And, and he played okay. It's not like he dominated Jeff Simmons. But just, the mindset is what I was more impressed with there, because, that is how you prove yourself in this league. It's go match up with Calais Campbell, go match up with, Cam Hayward, go match up with Braden Fisk, who's the Rams tackle, Kobe Turner, also a Rams D tackle. That's how you make a name for yourself, go play those guys. And if you want that, very similar to Jaxon, actually, he wants that. He wants to face Derek Stingley. He wants to face J.C. Horn on the Panthers. He wants to face Lenore on the Niners. He wants that, and he wants to go dominate, even if he's banged up or if he's not banged up or if they're banged up, home, road, week 12, week 2, week 15, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think his attitude, is like true Seahawk. There's a lot of guys like that, honestly, on this team who
but it's
a
just
certain type
guard.
of attitude.
It's just a guard. That's what you want in an offensive guard, is that right there. And I think, and you cover these guys forever, just any athlete. I mean, they separate themselves, that alpha dog mentality of competition.
Mm-hmm.
It is I don't think a lot of us realize it. It's just that there's such a difference in how they think and how they approach something. It would have been justified had he said, I don't want to play. Let's give it another week. They're going to win the game without him. They're going to win that game probably without him. I know it got close, and for them, it would have been the right thing to make. We need you for the full year. But for him to say, no, I need that challenge. I need to see myself up against him. It's what he said, I think, on Mike a few weeks ago when they played Calais Campbell. And he says, you're not going to get I think I don't know if you saw that. He's like, you're not going to get a sack on me. You're not going to get a sack on me. My whole goal is not for you not to do anything against me. It's little stuff like that. And I think there's a lot of guys on that team that embody that. You mentioned JSN, Devin Witherspoon, certainly he embodies that.
Who's a good comp on the other side of the ball in that way is so like we've talked, like offensive linemen kind of have an aesthetic that we desire. It's the beer can head crushing mustache wearing farm guy. And I think on the D line it's like what Jaron Reed is, like this very southern big dog on the yard type of. Like Jay Reed, for instance, got fined $14,000 for bumping Byron Young of the Rams because Byron, on a play to the sideline, pushed Ken Walker just a little too much to Jay Reed's liking and went up there and just chest bumped Byron. Remember, Jay Reed was inactive. He's on IR. No pads. Just went and chest bumped him like, hey, I'm here. Like, I need that from my D lineman, and I need Gray's attitude from the other side. I love it. I love both of those kind of archetypes. They're very perfect for their respective sides of the ball. So I love that Jay Reed got fined $14K. And you know what? Mike McDonald probably doesn't care. Like, love it.
No.
Cost of doing business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right. Exactly. So I think they're just in good hands. They're in good hands right now with some young guys that just want to ultra compete. And I mean, like, just compete. JSN, we mentioned the same, and Witherspoon and Zabel. And again, I'm just highlighting those three. They've got a whole team of them.
Yeah. There's a ton. Kobe's like that as well. Just to give
Those
another
guys,
name.
there's
Ernest.
just something. Yeah, I just think that the roles that they have, those three. I mean, you just see leaders in all three of those guys. That I think the team can rally around and build into the future. So it is fun to watch. And I didn't know this. I was trying to think, and I Googled this, that when's the last time a wide receiver's ever won NFL MVP? Never happened.
Jerry never won, huh? Wow.
Nope. Never happened. I mean, I don't think that Jason's going to win this year, but I do think that he should get some votes. I mean, he gets over the 2,000 yards, and I don't know how you ignore that.
I was just talking about this with Ben Arthur. He used to cover the Seahawks for the PI. He lives in Nashville. I got to hang out with him last night. It is fascinating, though. I think there is a scenario where Jaxon breaks the record and Myles Garrett breaks the sack record, and neither one of them get the offensive or defensive players of the year. I think Jonathan Taylor still has a very good argument for the offensive player of the year. He's going to have a bunch of touchdowns, where Jax is only on pace for, like, I think 10-ish. So you could get that scenario. And then with Myles, he could just get punished because his team's probably going to be like 4-13, which is pretty much what happened last year. They gave it to one of those Broncos guys, I think Surtain, because they were better. It wasn't much of an argument for saying Surtain was better than Trey Hendrickson on the Bengals, for instance, who led the league in sacks with 18 or 19, I think. So I think I'm with you, but the voters have kind of shown that maybe historical dominance may not guarantee, which I feel like we kind of saw something similar just with Cal and Judge a little bit, where it's like historical dominance at your position or whatever did not trump the individual excellence of another guy at a more traditional position.
All right, before you run on me, what do you got up right now at The Athletic? And also be sure to tell everyone where they can find the podcast, Seahawks Man to Man podcast with yourself and Chris Kim.
Most recent Seahawks Man to Man podcast available. You get all podcasts on our YouTube channel. Seahawks Man to Man is the name of the channel. We got a latest show up there. It was a weird game. So we talked a little bit about the defense too, because that was, Puck, that was Cam Ward's best game of his career. Thus far.
Great. He
played outstanding, all things considered, throwing the guys I never heard of. I had to look up everybody he threw to. I was like, who's number 13?
Never heard of him.
Who's number 11? 11's Van
the
Jefferson.
The one small little wide receiver, the guy that went to Miami with him. Did you see all?
Repistro?
Yeah.
Did he say that?
He has the most receiving yards of anyone in the school history. And you think of that, that's good. Michael Irvin, Lamar Thomas, like all these guys you've heard of, but that's the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about that. We're gonna have I'm gonna have something on Sam Darnold this week. It's Sam Darnold Revenge Week. A little bit playing the Vikings. We're gonna have my counterpart, I guess, Alec Lewis from The Athletic, who covers the Vikings. He's gonna be on the show. That's gonna drop on Tuesday. Fascinating, Puck. What's the roll of the dice for those respective franchises? Rolling the dice on JJ McCarthy, letting Sam walk, versus the Seahawks letting Geno walk, and then signing Sam. Like John looks between those three GMs, Spytek in Vegas, Kwesi in Minnesota. John's looking like the genius of all genius. Looks like he's a card counter at the table. It's just unreal how bad Geno is playing.
of GMs.
Yeah, Terry Rozier of front office execs there. Oh. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about that. Me and Alec are probably gonna write a joint story on that. It's really fascinating to me, like the decisions of all three teams. So we'll just focus on Minnesota and Seattle, and then obviously do our film breakdown on Friday, even though it's the holidays. So once you guys wake up on Friday, Black Friday, our show, double check this with Chris, that should be out, our film breakdown. So holidays ain't stopping us.
Okay, Seahawks Man to Man podcast, theathletic.com. Also, holidays are right around the corner. Go find the books, Seattle Seahawks, the franchise, wherever your books are sold and where you can acquire them. Mike's got a whole bunch waiting for you and your Christmas gifts. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Safe travels back home.
All right. One win away. Bowl eligibility still. Go Cougs.
One win.
Just one.
Go Cougs.
That's all we need. One. That's it. That's it. I was just real quick. I was just telling somebody, doesn't it feel like, Puck, that the difference between 6-6 and 5-7 is like the most massive thing in the world for us right now, for like a number of reasons we don't have to get into currently, but that one win The difference between 5 and 7 and 6 and 6, those extra bowl practices, the recruiting opportunities for the staff feels absolutely massive. So big game.
Way the fan
Hashtag
base
big game.
feels. Hashtag
Yeah,
big
yeah,
game.
exactly.
All right, go get the
Hashtag big
Beavs.
game.
All right. Thanks, Mike. See you.
All right,
There he is, Michael-Shawn Dugar from The Athletic. And again, athletic.com. Also, check out the Seahawks Man to Man podcast. He does that show along with our guy, Chris Kidd. You can find that wherever you get your podcast. Of course, check out the book. The book is available. The franchise story there of the Seattle Seahawks, wherever you find all of your books. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all of it. And get it for the holiday season. All right, let's see. What do we got going on here? We've got, I got to update people on Puck Survivor. Can I do that now? Hold on. I got to make sure I can get into Puck Survivor because I think there's a lot of people on Puck Survivor that have selected San Francisco for this week. Oh, yeah, a lot of you. We have 32 people left in Puck Survivor. I'm not one of the 32. 19 of you, over half, nearly 60% of you have taken the San Francisco 49ers in Puck Survivor tonight. So a lot of you got to be hoping that the Niners can pull it off tonight. Panthers in town. So if the Panthers win, 19 of you are out. Puck Survivor. We'll do it again next year. If you got to get in early on Puck Survivor, we started off with nearly 500, now down to 32. We could be down to even less after tonight with, again, 19 of you selecting San Francisco. 5 of you selected Baltimore yesterday, got the win. 3 of you took Seattle. That was good. A couple took Detroit. 1 took New England, Jacksonville, and the L.A. Rams. But a lot of people hoping for the San Francisco 49ers tonight there for Puck Survivor. Reminder, grand prize for Puck Survivor, $500 in cold hard cash. Second place gets a $100 gift card to John Howie Steak. Third place gets $50 to Georgetown Brewery. Fourth place gets $50 there to Flat Stick Pub. Big thanks to SandmanSports.com. They've got you covered all things sports, from analysis, in-depth articles, podcasts, and expert betting advice. We'll have more coming up tomorrow. Old Crimson will come out. Jim and I didn't get into the Cougs. We'll get into the Cougs tomorrow with Paul Sorensen. Everybody wants the offensive coordinator fired again. We'll see what they do at the end of the season. Of course, they've got their final game of the year coming up on Saturday against the Beavers. Again, they are heavy favorites in this one, 12.5 in Pullman. They need a victory to become bowl eligible, as Dugar just said there. They can get that. Gives them, of course, the extra practices, a bowl game, or whatever bowl game it is. I think it's the New Mexico Bowl, which is awful, but they don't really care about the bowl game. They care about the practices. A lot of rivalry games this week. Huge game for the Huskies taking on Oregon in Seattle. The Ducks are favored by 6.5. I don't think anyone should be shocked or surprised if Washington wins that game. I don't think there's a huge separation between these two programs, and it's clear, it's evident that Washington plays much better at home. Record bears it out. The statistics bear it out. They went down to UCLA. They got a very impressive win against the Bruins. Yeah, the Bruins aren't that good, but it doesn't matter. That place has been a house of horrors for them. So they get that. They kind of get that monkey off their back of playing down there. Now they return home. That should be a great environment. Oregon needs to win it in order to stay alive there in the college football playoffs. Now, if they don't win, that's 2 losses. All of a sudden now, does the committee look at them differently? What's their big win? Do they still get credit for Penn State? All of that. The news with Cal, we talked about that earlier. Justin Wilcox is out, fired Nick Rolovich, he wasn't even an assistant coach. He was an offensive analyst. And now he's the interim head coach there, which is just funny. It's funny that he's the head coach at that place. That's what's funny about it. And then for Justin Wilcox, will he get another shot? I know there's a lot of people in Corvallis that wanted him to maybe get an opportunity. John and I have talked about that. John Canzano, who will be on tomorrow, so he'll have some information on that one. Will Wilcox be a target for the Beavers? The Montana State coach, fresh off their victory, Sorry Divish over Montana this weekend. I believe he's in town or in town this morning interviewing for the job. He was interviewed for the Wazoo job. And according to a lot of people, he wanted that job, but wanted to wait until after their bowl game. I think, or after the playoffs. And then McCoy didn't want to wait, so pivoted fast. To end up getting Jimmy Rogers. So could he be the option there for Oregon State for Wilcox? I don't know. I don't understand the love affair with Justin Wilcox. Never have, never will. He's 48 and 55 as a head coach. He's had 2 winning seasons in 9 years, and he had an abysmal conference record. He was 26 and 47. And save me, it's so hard to win at Cal. BS. You know where it's hard to win at? Pullman. Where it's hard to win at? Oregon State. Not at Cal. Okay, they've got there's hurdles, but it's not like that. And he's a good coordinator, not a good head coach. So he gets an opportunity at a bigger program. We shall see. As I mentioned this before, this is a great week of sports. There's a bunch of tournaments taking place this week. There in basketball, we got the NFL, we got college football, all of it on Thursday and Friday. Of course, Turkey Day is the best. And we touched on this whole ESPN's wet dream that we had chatting with Jim Moore earlier. There's certain people that just aren't your cup of tea. Okay, Shedeur Sanders just is not my cup of tea. I just think he is one of the most overhyped individuals that we've ever seen. And there's just something off-putting about him. There just is. You watch his on-field interview yesterday for CBS. I mean, there is no mention of the team, hardly at all. There's no mention of what a great job his offensive line did or his wide receiver. None of that. It's all about himself. It's all about, look what I did in a week and look at what I didn't get to do in the summer because I got no reps. I got no practice time. The 5th-round draft pick. He was the 3rd quarterback on the depth chart. I think the 4th one at some point during training camp. Why would you get a lot of reps? You don't deserve it to where you were drafted at. And if you watch, his stats, he was 11 of 20 for 200 yards. He made 1 throw in the game when he was scrambling to his right through a downfield. It was a nice throw. That was it, though. His touchdown pass, it was a screen to a wide receiver. His QBR, and you say, I don't care about QBR, but it is a stat that everyone looks at, was an 8.7. It's a scale from 100 to 0. 50 is average. He didn't have a good game. But if you watch his interview, it's as if he greatest quarterback in the world. It's very off-putting, his personality. But whatever. I guess that's their fault, or that's their issue there in Cleveland, not ours. So we got Puck Survivor update. The show this week, real quick, before we get to On This Day, and then, hey, what the puck is this? We'll do a show Tuesday. We're going to do a show Wednesday. Jim will be back on Wednesday. We're going to bump up KJ Arntz on Wednesday. Mitch is going to join us on Wednesday. But no show Thursday, and then no show Friday. So we won't have our regular guests on Thursday or Friday, but we may get some of those guys. I think we'll probably get Todd Millis on to preview the semifinals in high school football. Probably jump him, get him on the show just so we can preview that. We've got a heavyweight matchup. If you love high school football, there is a 4A matchup for 2 neighboring cities and communities that are football crazed, that it is going to be bananas down there at Spark Stadium. Puyallup against Sumner, Saturday afternoon. I think it is at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock kickoff. I was texting with Egan today. They expect around 7,000 people to be there for this game. That is going to be just phenomenal. Lake Stevens and Graham Kapowson. That's going to be a great game. A rematch of last year's 3A championship game, O'Day and Bellevue on that side of the 3A bracket. That's going to be a great game. I went down on Friday, saw Egan to watch Bellevue play Lakes over at Bellevue High School. They just a machine. Just every time I think every drive I saw in the first half and then I left, it was like 3 plays and they would score. So a lot of great high school action. We'll get you a preview coming up with Todd Millis from Varsity One News sometime this week. But again, shows tomorrow and Wednesday, but again, no show Thursday or Friday. All right, on this day, November 24th, before we get on out of here, 1960, November 24th, 1960. You've heard about Wilt Chamberlain, of course, for scoring his 100 points. Right? Awesome. Like, no one's ever done it. He scored 100 points and all that. But did you know, I didn't know this, that on this day, that Wilt Chamberlain also has the record for most rebounds in a game. 1960, he pulled down 55 rebounds in a game for the Warriors. They weren't Golden State at that time. For the Warriors in a 132-129 victory over the Boston Celtics. 55 rebounds. I think the 100 points is pretty crazy, and that's an unreal stat that it's kind of mind-boggling. But 55 rebounds, that's insane. What just an amazing basketball player and athlete Wilt Chamberlain was. Also on this day, not a lot happened on this day, by the way. November 24th, no longer with us anymore. Noriyuki Pat Morita, passing away today at the age of 81. Of course, best known for Mr. Miyagi, Karate Kid, right? Come on, Danielson. Yeah, passing away today on this day in 2005 at the age of 81. Also in 2016, Florence Henderson passed away at the age of 82. Of course, best known for her role as mom, Carol, in the Brady Bunch. On this day, November 24th, 1960. All right, before we wrap up the show today, hey, what the puck, as we do every single daily puck drop, which is brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. It's your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when those damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Something happened over the weekend that I think just gives me a lot of hope in youth sports and just high school sports and sports in general. A clip that's you probably have seen it, a viral clip on social media that's gone out for many people to see. And it involves a young man by the name of Mason West. For you hockey fans out there, you probably know the name Mason West. Well, Mason West and his team, but really Mason West, is what sports is all about, and especially what sports in high school is all about. He's a senior quarterback at Edina High School, which is just north there of the Twin Cities there in Minneapolis. They won the 6A state football championship this past Friday. And in that run, they were not expected to win it. They certainly weren't one of the favorites to win it. They weren't a bad team, but they weren't one of the favorites. They beat 3 higher seeds on their way to winning the game, the championship game. They avenged 2 regular season losses on their way to the 6A state title game. And they rallied to win games, multiple games, when they trailed in the fourth quarter. Now you think, well, what's so special about Mason West? Well, Mason West represents what playing high school sports is about, because Mason West, not only a good quarterback, he's 6'6", he's 220 pounds, looks the part. No doubt that if you probably said football is my sport, probably pretty damn good at it, probably would get a scholarship if that was his sport. Or at 6'6", 215, I'm just going to guess, maybe he can play a little hoops. Probably devoted his time to always playing hoops. He'd probably be a good basketball player. See, Mason West is one of the best hockey players in the world and one of the best hockey players in the United States, because in the prior NHL draft, Mason West was selected in the first round of the NHL draft, 29th overall. Going into the NHL draft, Mason West told everyone in the league, if you draft me, I am going to play my senior year of high school football. I'm not going to turn my back on my friends and my team. So know that going in. And there's been a lot of athletes like Mason West who have been drafted who then say, I'm not going to play. I'm going to sit it out. I don't want to risk injury, and then I want to play year-round hockey. If you know anyone that's played hockey at the youth level, I guess club level, you understand the time and the commitment that it takes. Probably one of the most grueling sports that youth club kids can play, especially when you're really good. You're talking about getting up at 5 a.m, and you're traveling all over the place. I bet it. I bumped into a kid this weekend who plays around here at that kind of club level. He's up in Canada 2 times a week. Think about that. Much easier probably in a place like Minnesota, but he told everyone that I'm putting full-time hockey on hold for now because I want to play with my friends one last season of high school football. And he had a quote in one of the papers asking him of his decision. Why'd you do that? It's rare that someone in your position being drafted as high as they were first round would jeopardize it. I mean, listen, he could have gone out there and injured his knee. ACL, maybe that's, that delays him and his hockey career. Maybe he ends his hockey career. And he said, quote, I think just being with my friends, my buddies, and just keep being a kid is what he said of why he made that decision. No specialization. No parent or coach telling him that he has to choose a sport because that happens. No one telling him if you play football, you're going to get injured and you're going to jeopardize yourself. No agent telling him it was a mistake to do it. He just wanted to be with his buddies and win a championship and be a kid. Refreshing. Kudos to Mason West, and congratulations to the Edina High School football team for winning a state championship. That's Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One in North Seattle. Your restoration company lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services. Give them a call, 206-817-8917. Visit them at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Big thanks to everybody watching and listening to today's Daily Puck Drop. Big thanks to all of our sponsors, Limback Lumber, Georgetown Brewery, Flat Stick Pub, Restoration One. We couldn't do it without your guys' support, so thank you so much. Also, thank you to gym sponsors on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. A Clean Streak / Bright Owl Lighting. Big thanks to Brian Turner. He's going to take care of you of all your lighting needs. So look him up at brightowllighting.com. Brad Brotherton, you need a new car, want a Cadillac? Brad Brotherton's your guy, brothertoncadillac.com. And if you want a nice drink, some good food, great place to watch the Kraken, the Cougs, the Huskies, all things sports. Big thanks to Matt Baker and the folks there at the Angry Beaver in Greenwood. Today's Daily Puck Drop, you can find it up on YouTube. When you're there, please subscribe to the channel. You may be watching it, but you got to hit the subscribe button. You're not going to, nothing bad's going to happen. You're not going to get spammed with a bunch of emails, but it just helps me. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. All of our videos are up there. The Daily Puck Drop will be up there. We'll separate Michael-Shawn Dugar. He'll be up there coming up later today. You can also find the Daily Puck Drop on all your favorite podcast platforms, Apple and Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts. And, of course, you can find everything at pucksports.com. When you're there, sign up to become a Pucks Posse member. You support all the free daily content we do. Keeps us going here every single day, Monday through Friday. Also, we give you bonus shows every single week. You will get Inside Pitch with Ryan Davis this week. You will get another episode of KJ Arntz with Mitch Levy coming out this week as well. Also, be on the lookout for the Graz with Gas Take 5 podcast. It comes out on Mondays, produced here by Puck Sports. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday's edition. That will include a visit with John Canzano, johncanzano.com, all things college football. Also, Danny Kelly stops on by from The Ringer to talk NFL. We'll see you tomorrow. As always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no dives.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!